Wow.
Wasn't that important? Uh,
Cool. In terms of for others looking to do this event, like, do you have any tips, suggestions, whether they're doing solo, relay, participating? Like, what was your training like? What do you suggest people be ready to do going into this event in the not just in the days prior, but also in the months prior? Like, let's go into that.
mm. So once again, my training wasn't for this one. So a carryover in your training, if you don't have time, go and obviously, do physical exercise and all that kind of stuff, right? As much as you can. Skate as much as you can. However, find that one day that you can go out and do way too many miles, like 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. Find at least one day that you can do those to find those little things that will get you after that. So, like a marathon, doesn't matter. 2 hours, doesn't matter. Find the ones that'll get you at 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. That's so important to know. Oh, after this many hours, this starts hurting. So you can go ahead and plan to heat mold out, like press that one little spot. You're like, oh no, it doesn't really bother me. No, it will. Find that spot and get rid of it. Try all the things you're going to eat beforehand. Meaning, if you're like, oh yeah, I got this new protein supplement, try it first. It makes a big deal. Make sure you like the flavor of Gatorade that you're going to take with you. Did you buy that one and take it with you? Uh, there were so many people with the diet thing, even though mine wasn't perfect. I still knew to have an actual protein bar with me. I was like, okay, I need this actual physical thing because it might not be enough. So I planned ahead for that. I didn't do it correctly, but I just had it though I needed it. The main thing is doing that, like one or two really super long skates to find the little things that you've done wrong. And then training wise, I could have done it slightly different. I would have trained more for flat than I did. All my skills and training were for, once again, average speed and going up hills. Because once again, Lamar, it's just
Right.
uphill and a downhill, uphill and a downhill. This track, there's no hills. You literally just skate around flat the whole time. So if I could have trained a little bit more for that, it probably would have served me better. But yeah, the number one is looking for all like little niggly things which will just cause you pain. Oh, diet. So the one thing that I know for a fact, whether or not you do this supplement or that supplement, this water, whatever, always eat before you're hungry and drink before you're thirsty. If you don't do those two things, you'll end up like that longboarder guy who couldn't get up off the ground on the other side of my pit wall because he didn't drink enough water, which means he was cramping 3 hours into the race. It's so hard to come back from at that point. So even though you don't want to drink that bottle of water, which I didn't most of the time, take the bottle of water and just drink it anyway. Your body will thank you later on because it's still working. Yeah, that would be my two recommendations. Eat before you're hungry, drink before you're thirsty, and get at least one or two super long skates so you can feel those little things that are going wrong.
Now, I imagine those super long skates also aren't about the physicality, but I think there's like a mental aspect of that too, to be like, okay, it's like you're going into this event being like, oh, I've been out on skates 5, 6 hours straight, instead of like, I've only been out on skates 2 hours straight, right? Like, I think once you like hit like a certain level of something, it's easier to get to like the next level. I found that with a lot of my events as well. Just like, how am I going to do this really crazy big thing? Be like, oh, but if I've done one before, that's even a third of that or half of that, it goes such a long way.
Yep. Plus, a lot of times when you do, so my experience with the races is, like I talked about with the 8 hour mark, or it's 6 to 8 hour mark, right? Because most people are not even in their skates for past that length of time. Once you're out there though, and you're doing all the rest of the people and you see all the rest of the crazies out there with you, that bond helps keep all of y'all going. You just got to get to that point.
Cool.
So nice to have.
All right. And what was your, how much did you eat before the race? Did you eat a lot, a little? What was that?
Not really. Normal dinner. I think we did Chick-fil-A or something for dinner. It was really simple stuff because it's not going to matter. A to A, for example, or marathon. We'll use A to A because I've never done a marathon. Sorry, everybody, I've never done a marathon.
Shortest race is New York City 100K, 64 miles.
Yeah, so for A to A, it's only going to be, for people like me, 5-ish hours, right? So as long as I pack a lot of food in me at night, night before, right, and then smash a pretty decent sized breakfast, I won't need to refuel really until I get to the end. Maybe like small little things. With this race, I'm going to be eating the whole time, like literally from hour one, like do the thing, hour one, grab food, drink the bottle of water, drink the Gatorade, and they keep going. So it's not really necessary to do like that carb loading everybody talks about. It's not really that necessary. Just eat like normal beforehand and just have your stomach be okay with what you're about to do to it. Like I took an antacid because I have a little bit of acid reflux. So I took an antacid midway through the race just because the amount of salt and the amount of sugar, you're just basically going eat this the whole time. Your body's like, I don't really want this much in me. I'm gonna feel like throwing up. It really helps. But that's also, like I said, try your stuff beforehand. Like the little clip blocks, make sure you like the clip blocks. Like that you really like them because you're gonna be really sick of them by the end of it.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of this is very personal. Like you got to know what you like. Everyone else is going to have their own
Oh
suggestions
yeah.
like that. Like, but you got to know what you like, know what your body likes. So, cool. Do you have any final other thoughts on this event? Well, one, did you have fun?
Oh yeah. Cannot recommend it enough. Like I was going into it expecting to just be alone and it was going to be kind of dull. Francisco showed up. All the rest of those people showed up. All the longboarders were super nice. There was actually people like calling me and messaging me and stuff. Like, it was so much fun. And this year, especially with COVID and everything else, all my training has been pretty much seems to always be by myself. And you're alone for so much of it. And everybody's like, you're in the solo division, so of course you're going to be alone. But when doing this skate at this event, not once did I feel like I was alone. Not one single time when I was doing all 24 hours, I never felt alone. And I just flipped all my training on its head because I was just going, I'm gonna be sad and be alone. It's gonna suck. I'm gonna be skating by myself. No, even though, granted, like we talked about, I wasn't ever like really able to pace with people. Didn't matter because it's 1.4 miles. You'll see people again. It was so good. So yeah, a year of spending because once again we're all quarantined and everything else. Whole year of pretty much being by myself to go to the event and actually be with. I did wear a mask the whole 90% of the race. I wore a buff, the face guard thing. I doubled up on it because I was told that's what you should do if you're going to wear one of those is mouth protection stuff. So I wore one of those for 90% of the event. Didn't matter. Everybody was still super chummy and nice. You can still hear people. Just talk louder. And I think there's this like thing about oxygen deprivation or something. Didn't get it. Felt fine.
Yeah. So I think it's worth pointing out, like, you can, you skated 300 miles in 24 hours with a mask on. So I think that's something to be said that, like, these events are possible. And it looked like that safety was pretty well followed at this event. It looks like they made it a priority, considering it was in Florida too, since Florida seems to be like not caring.
But no, like as far as that goes, like you had their what do you call it, precautions, protection plan or whatever. That was great. To get into the track, temperature test, make sure you have your mask on there. Everybody around the pits, helmet you must wear at all times, all that stuff. It's really good. Like the whole event, every bit of the organization of it, perfect. Like I cannot say good enough about the people who ran this thing. It's so good. And as far as feeling safe, no problem. Whole time felt perfect, safe. Yeah, I left all my stuff sitting on the wall, all of it. Even had like a little power box where I plugged in a bunch of stuff. Didn't even worry about it, not once. Yeah, so nice.
Cool. Any final thoughts? We've covered a lot of ground here in the last hour plus.
Sorry. Thanks to the event people. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, John Rodriguez, for like making this really truly without him, this would not happen. And then thanks to my partner for suffering and going nothing with me and having to put up with my training, everything else. Yeah, thanks to all the people that helped out with that. Oh, and thank FR for the boot. Thank you.
Cool. So this was the 24-hour ultra skate. And then I believe the organization is IDSA, International Distance Skateboarding Association. Oh yeah, there we go.
Got it right there, man. Gotcha.
All right.
Thanks for interviewing me, man.
Oh yeah, no.
I'll have a write-up for this soon, so I'll have all that.
Yeah, for those who who've already went through this hour and now just want to read about it some more. I couldn't get enough. Cool. Awesome.
Thanks, man.